Hello everybody and welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Red. In between episodes, did a little bit of work, did some stuff that I said needed to be done. Firstly, we have this random piece of cobblestone here that we need to take care of. Not exactly sure how or why that happened. So let's go ahead and grab our chisel. And we will throw it up there, get the brick that we need. There we go. Alright. So between episodes, I pretty much filled this thing up full of mana for us to use, which is awesome. I absolutely love it. We have plenty of mana to do the things that we need to do now, with this being completely full. These guys were doing okay, but I was not real impressed with them. They do a good job for supplementing. However, for generating a lot of mana, they just take forever. And I'm sure you guys can probably hear in the background that I've got something else going on. So I will head out there and I will show you. First off, we're going to sleep through the night so we can get rid of some of the big nasties that are out there. So I hope everybody's been having a great week. I know I've been having a fairly decent week. Let's get rid of all of this experience that we're carrying around as well. Don't need to be taking that out with us. Weather looks good. So in between episodes, I set up this monstrosity. This is just a very large water tank that I built. It is 3 by 3 on the inside, so it's perpetuating water generation. And in each corner we have these floating hydrangeas. Now the hydrangea was very simple to make. We made it pretty much just like we made the Exo Flame. It just takes a blue mana petal, cyan mana petal, a couple of regular cyan petals, a blue petal, and a pink petal. Of course, a seed. And you throw that in the petal apothecary, and that's how you get the hydrangeas. Now, the hydrangeas will consume water that is directly next to them. Basically, it searches in a 1 block square radius around it for water sources, and it will drink the water source to provide mana. Hence why it has to be in the corner. Now, if I would have planted just the regular hydrangea down, that would have been fine. However, we would have had to put like a block of dirt here, and then another hydrangea, another block of dirt, so on and so forth. And this would be double the size that it is now, just because we would have to put down blocks of dirt. So instead, I turned them into floating hydrangeas. Now, in order to get floating hydrangeas, or any type of floating flower, you have to take some sort of floating flower and make it glimmering. To make it glimmering, you just take that flower and add 2 pieces of glowstone dust. That turns it into the glimmering version. You add that on top of a pasture seed, which is just some grass thrown into a mana pool. Very simple. Combine that with a piece of dirt, and you get your floating flower. In order to get the hydrangea, you then take any type of floating flower. Of course, it's not going to show, but you have to take a standard Botania floating flower and combine that with the actual generation flower or manipulation flower that you have in order to make it the floating flower. So I just took a random floating flower. I think I used magenta because we don't use that a lot. Made a floating magenta flower, and I crafted that with the hydrangea to get the floating hydrangeas flower. And these guys have been just working away, sucking up water, creating mana. These 8 over here are connected to this mana spreader. The 8 on the other side are connected to that mana spreader, which all come to this mana pool. Then of course this mana pool shoots it inside to that mana pool that we've already got connected to our day blooms, and then that sends it inside. So we definitely have plenty of mana to work with now. And yes, I cleared out this area. I made another tool that helped me clean this area out and flatten it, so we now have plenty of room to work. We can build these rooms up. We can start placing farms on top of here. It's not so hilly. You know, we could also go out there into the water a little bit if we wanted to. We've got a lot more options to us now. So the little helper that I got was this guy here, the filler. If we take a look at the recipe, a very simple recipe. It's just a chest, a crafting table, some sort of black dye, some sort of yellow dye, and a gold gear. I used the Buildcraft version, which, if I can get it up here, there it is, which is just gold around an iron gear. Again, I used the Buildcraft version, which is a stone gear surrounded by iron. But actually I used the basic gear from Ender.io because it's simpler, and that's just, you know, a couple of sticks and a couple of cobblestone to make that gear. So that's what I did to make the filler. The filler also needs some markers so that you can mark out the area that you want to excavate. So for instance, you know, if we wanted to dig from here to there, up to there and over to here, then you just hit it, and that shows you the area that it will excavate or fill or dig or whatever you want it to do. And then of course, to get rid of it, we can just pop these off and call it good. So that is how I did it. It does take power. I just tied it directly in with our RF system via an MV cable and the MV connector. It is an RF system, so it does you know, accept any and all RF that you can give it. So that's how I did that, guys. And then the rest of it I did kind of by hand, kind of did some vein mining with it and cleared it out. So now we need to come up with leather. And I do not think, and I am correct, we do not have any leather. So let's go find us some cows, because we are going to need some leather to continue what we are doing. And it's starting to get a little bit late, but it's not too bad yet. So let's see what we can do in the way of cows. I want to say I saw some over in this direction. So we'll go over here and we will check that out. But yeah, I filled in all of the holes that were here. There are some holes that are just covered over that we'll probably end up using at a little bit later date if we decide to expand the base out or anything like that. So we will, you know, cross that bridge when we come to it. And yes, we got a cow here, so thank you, Mr. Cow. 3 pieces. Excellent. That means that we only need like 1 more piece if I'm not mistaken. So Mr. Cow, sorry, but we need your leather. And cool, that gives us the leather that we need. Now we can make the cool stuff that I've been wanting to make with Botania. So we will head back home here. I must say, it does look a little bit different now without this big old mound here, but at the same time it's also nice to have a nice flat area to work with and do whatever we want with it. So we will come back here, hop in, and first things first, I actually think I want to get the ring of magnetization. So let's go ahead and pull that up ring of, and it's going to be right here, the ring of magnetization. It's going to take 4 mana steel ingots plus a mana lens. Well, the mana lens is iron ingot and gold ingot with a mana lens. And that's going to be 4 more mana steel ingots and a pane at last. So we're going to need 8 all together for the mana steel. And that's very simple. That is just iron in the mana pool, and there we go. We got our mana steel. Of course, we're going to need a glass pane, so we will make up some glass panes, and we will derp the recipe. There we go. Going to need a gold ingot and an iron ingot, and there's our mana lens magnetization. Set that there. Make our ring, and there we go. Now the nice thing about these rings is that you know, you can either hold them in your inventory, you know, and that works too, or you can right click it and it gets equipped to your baubles slots, so that way it doesn't take up inventory space. And there we go. We are now wearing our ring of magnetization, which is awesome. That means that, you know, we can come over here, and if we break, say, well, let's actually go outside and do this, because I can almost guarantee you there's going to be stuff all over the ground out here. And anything that has dropped will automatically get pulled into our inventory. Yep, there we go. See, as you can see, this has quite a bit of a range on it. So that will definitely come in handy when I'm out mining or farming or anything like that for stuff that we will need in the future. Because this ring, I can just, you know, annihilate stuff. The ring will just suck it up and stick it to me. And if my inventory gets full, well, the nice thing is, you know, with Minecraft, I get 5 minutes to get to wherever I need to be in order to, you know, save the stuff that I've picked up, or that I can't pick up and is magnetized to me. So you didn't have just a whole boatload of stuff following you around, which, yeah, that can hurt frame rates, but, you know, as long as you head straight back to your chests or your ME system and start dumping stuff right away, you really don't have to worry about it too much. So the other thing that I was going to get was the Sojourner's Sash, which, like I said, allows us to go faster. So let's take a look here at how we make that. Now there is a tier 2, the Globetrotter's Sash, which will make you go even faster and jump even higher, but we do not have what is needed for that. You need a Gaia Spirit, which is from the Gaia boss. You need Elementium, which is from the elves. The portal to Elfheim that we're going to make a little bit later. So and it requires the Sojourner's Sash anyway. So the Sojourner's Sash, well, we're going to have to do some infusion for. So we're going to need a Rune of Air and a Rune of Earth, and of course we're going to need the Runic Altar. So let's take a look at the Runic Altar and see what all it takes to make that. The Runic Altar is just going to be some living wood and a mana diamond or mana pearl. So let's go take a look and see what we have available to us. Let's see, we have 51 diamonds or a ton of ender pearls. So we'll do this with an ender pearl. Just make an ender pearl out of it. And random chicken gave us a random egg. That's trying to get into our inventory. Drop it in there. There's our mana pearl. Bit of living rock. And there we go. There's our runic altar. And for the time being, we are just going to set it right here since this is completely full. We will just rebind this one to the runic altar for the moment. That way it just works faster. Alright, so now for the Sojourner Sash, we need the Rune of Earth, which is going to be 3 mana steel ingots, some sort of stone, a block of coal, and a mushroom. Okay, well, we can do that. We're also going to need 3 for the other one as well. And we're going to need a block of coal. Well, that's cool. We got that available to us. We're going to need a mushroom. So let's go check and see if we have any mushrooms. We should. Yep, we got a couple of those. And what else are we going to need? Mushroom stone, which we have plenty of stone over there. But we should have extra in here. Yes, we do. Excellent. Okay, and while we're here at the ME system, what are we going to need for the Rune of Air? We're going to need some string, some feather, and a carpet. Okay, well, string shouldn't be any problem. There's the string. Going to need wool, which we do not have any of, so we will have to make some. Around like that. 1, 2... And I do believe it's 3 to make the carpet. Nope, that's slab. There we go, it's just 2 of them. Alright, so there's the carpet, and we're going to need a feather. Luckily we've gotten a couple of those from some chickens lately. And we will just put the carpet back over here because the carpet really isn't used for much of anything. At least I don't use it. We may use it a little bit later. I did go ahead and make us a mana tablet as well beforehand, just because I thought I was going to have to move the mana around, but I got lucky with the way that I set everything up that I didn't have to move the mana. I was able to actually just to do it with mana spreaders. So that was awfully nice. Got this slime up here, kind of squishing around, irritating me. And we can always use some more slime balls. I wanted to make sure that I came up here and got him, because we are kind of running low on slime balls. We'll put that in there. And we will come back over here. And we are going to need to turn these into mana steel. Excellent. And we're also going to need some living rock, 2 to be exact. So for the infusion, we will get all set up here. And like that. What are you doing to me? Stop. There. Alright, so you just right click the altar with what you want to infuse it with. So we got the stone, got the mushroom, we got the block of coal, and then 3 mana steel. And then we give it a whack with our wand. And there we go, you can see these nice little particle effects and a timer, or a progress bar on what we're making. And we are currently making the Rune of Earth. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of mana to do that. Using it fairly fast. So now that it's done, we take a living rock and we throw it on top. Right click with our wand, and there are our Runes of Earth. Now we just do the same thing with the stuff that we need for the Rune of Air. 1, 2, 3, and give it a whack. There we go. Hello, chicken. What are you doing down there? Don't want to deal with that chicken anymore. Alright, this is just about done. Again, lovely particle effects, got the lightning effect going on when it's completed. Toss and whack. There we go. Now for our Sojourner staff, we just need 1 more mana steel ingot and 4 leather. Let's grab 1 more piece of iron here, toss it on top. Excellent. And we can get our Sojourner Sash. Awesome. So now if we come out here and see that I'm just running around normal, can't do anything, I still have to jump to get over these 1 block tall things. However, equip the Sash, and this is normal speed. This isn't even running. And we can do 1 step up, which is absolutely awesome. And if we run, we actually run quite a bit faster as well. So this will definitely help with our explorations, and with you know, escaping enemies if we have to. That and the ring that we just made as well will be really nice because, again, don't have to worry about anything. Just have to, you know, do whatever we're doing and the ring will bring it to us. So let's go ahead and clear out our inventory here real quick. Oh, don't want to put that in there. We will put our beef and our leather in there. Go ahead and throw our ruins back in here. And we'll do some maintenance real quick. We'll grab this living rock. We will go ahead and throw down some more wood, or some more living wood. Just like that. So guys, I think in between episodes here, I'm going to work on getting us even more mana generation, because we are going to need a lot more mana generation for what we've got planned in the future. And once we have that all set up, we're not going to have any issues. But first things first, I'll probably set up another farm. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to set it up. It might be up top here, it might be down below, I'm not exactly sure, but here is what we will have, what we will be aiming for when we come back, is some extreme chili. And if we look, it will give us 7 shanks of health, which is amazing. For one, because, you know, toast sandwiches are great, but if we can make a lot more food that, or automate the process of making food, that is better. First off, why not? And secondly, because the next flour that we are going to make for Botania, we're actually going to make 3 of them, is the, if I can remember how to spell it, right there, the Gormalaeus, Gormarialis, either way, this thing. That's going to require us to make a couple of different ruins. You know, a rune of fire, gunpowder, nether brick, nether wart. We have that stuff already, no problem. A rune of summer, which is going to take one of our earth runes, one of our air runes, some sand, slime ball, and a melon. So we're going to need quite a few of those. Some yellow mana petals, a gray mana petal, and some you know, other standard petals, just to make 1. The Gomoralis actually eats food, same stuff that we would eat in order to generate mana, and it does so at a very fast speed, and it will create a lot of mana very, very fast, which is a good thing, because we're actually going to, in the future, use mana to do some enchanting. So stick around, you'll definitely want to see that. But we're going to need a lot of mana, and the Dormaleus, whatever this thing is, the food-eating flower, we'll just call it that, is definitely one of the better ways to go when it comes to creating a lot of mana very quickly. However, the thing is that you can feed it whatever. We could feed it all of those apples that we have downstairs in the barrel. That's fine. It'll eat those without any problem. Problem is, it will only produce a very, very little bit of mana. Because if we look at an apple only has 2 shanks. Well, even for us, that doesn't fill us up very much. So, the more complicated the food is, and the more saturation you get from the food, the more the Dormaleus will produce in way of mana. So that is what we are going to do. That's what we are going to work towards. So again, in between episodes, I am going to build a farm that will make us our extreme chili, because we can completely automate that with farms, which is nice, because all we need is chili pepper. We got those. To make the chili, we need a pot, so we'll actually need to use a couple of probably cyclic assemblers or some sort of automated way to get seeds back so that we can replant everything that we pick, and also make the chili automated. So we will definitely talk about that. Right now I'm just going to set up the farms much like we've seen in the past. I won't get into the automation just yet. But we're also going to need firm tofu, or set up some sort of farm to get steak. Well, the easier way is probably going to be firm tofu, which is just with a Pam's Harvest Craft presser, and you press silken tofu, which is pressed from soy milk, which is pressed from soybeans. So we can do it that way. We can, again, completely automate it with nothing but a farm, and we can be good to go. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Like I said, kind of a short episode this week, or today, I should say, just because I've got a lot of personal things going on today, so I wanted to make sure that I got your guys' episode out. However, I needed to do other things as well. So, without any further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you did like the video. Also, don't forget to hit that notification icon next to the subscribe button, which is the little bell icon. That'll keep you informed when more episodes like this come out. Don't forget to check out my other series. I have an LSPDFR series that I do as well. And coming up soon, hopefully I will have something in the mix for Minecraft as well, possibly a new and or different series. So definitely stay tuned. Check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and we will definitely see you guys in the next video. See ya.